When Lee Jun-ho first stepped on stage, no one saw what was coming. He wasn't the most popular idol or even the most confident, but beneath it all was a kind of quiet fire. Grit, determination, and an unshakable will to prove himself. That same fire would one day make him one of Korea's most respected actors. This is how Lee Jun-ho defied every expectation and redefined what it means to be an idol actor. And it all began long before the spotlight. Born on January 25, 1990 in Ilsan, Goyang, Jun-ho knew from a young age what he wanted: to perform. Not just to sing or dance, but to express himself. He was that kind of kid, disciplined, serious, laser-focused on his goals. At 16, while most teens were stressing over exams, Jun-ho joined JYP's Superstar Survival, a grueling reality competition with over 6,000 contestants fighting for a single trainee spot. Before we continue, quick shout out to Migaku. If Lee Jun-ho's dedication got you thinking, this is how you level up your Korean the smart way. With Migaku, you learn from what you already love: K-dramas, K-pop, variety shows. It's a Chrome extension that works on Netflix, YouTube, and Disney+. See a line you like? Click any word to get the meaning, hear pronunciation as if it came from a native speaker,
아이고, 내가 그걸 놓고 왔네?
and save it as a flashcard instantly without pausing the fun. This isn't just random vocab. Migaku's AI builds you a personal study path, adapts to your level, and tracks progress so you actually remember what you learn. Their Korean Fundamentals course made Hangul and pronunciation click for me fast, and the built-in OCR is clutch. Snap a photo of Korean text and it turns into a mini lesson on the spot. And if you're a multitasker, one subscription covers all languages, so you can add Japanese or Spanish without juggling apps. If Jun-ho's grind inspired you to start, use my link below. There's a special offer for this channel. Alright, back to Lee Jun-ho's story. 6,000 people, one dream, and Jun-ho outlasted them all. He won first place and signed with JYP Entertainment, one of Korea's biggest agencies. It was a defining moment. Proof that he wanted this more than anything, because you don't survive that kind of pressure unless it's truly your passion. 2 years later, in 2008, he debuted as part of 2PM, one of the most iconic boy groups of their generation. With hits like Again and Again, Heartbeat, and Hands Up, they weren't just popular, they were a movement. 2PM defined the Beast Idol era, known for powerful performances and raw charisma. And Jun-ho fit that image perfectly. Precise, disciplined, magnetic on stage, the kind of performer who didn't just dance, he commanded the spotlight. But behind all that intensity, his body was breaking down. During his 2PM years, Jun-ho pushed himself far beyond what was humanly sustainable. He later revealed that his shoulder had been completely torn, his labrum ripped apart, and doctors had to drill several holes just to patch it up. On top of that, his spine was fractured, discs damaged to the point where he could barely move. At one point, he heard a sharp crack in his neck, collapsed from the pain, and realized just how bad it was. The hospital told him to rest and wear an abdominal binder. But the next day, there was an overseas concert, so he went on stage anyway. That's the kind of artist he is. Not driven by ego or fame, but by a deep, almost stubborn love for performing, the kind that borders on self-sacrifice. Still, even with all that drive, Jun-ho struggled with something most people wouldn't expect: self-esteem. Back in high school, he was teased for his looks. Hard to believe now, but classmates actually called him ugly. Because he was often compared to Rain, people expected him to look a certain way. When he didn't, they didn't hold back from saying hurtful things. Those moments stayed with him, quietly shaping how he saw himself. And maybe that insecurity carried into his career. Despite 2PM's massive success, Jun-ho admitted he often felt lonely. Around that time, members like Taeyeon and Woo-young were getting cast in dramas like Dream High, while Jun-ho, who had always dreamed of acting, kept that dream to himself. Back then, especially for the least popular members, opportunities were scarce. Jun-ho carried that weight in silence. He'd spend nights alone at the dorm, wondering when he'd ever get the chance to show what he was truly capable of. So, he poured all that frustration into performing. He threw himself into acrobatics, the flips, the stunts, the moments that got the loudest cheers. But one day during rehearsal, everything went wrong. He landed badly, got seriously injured, and found himself lying in a hospital bed. staring at the ceiling, wondering if his career was over. He felt useless, broken in every sense. But quitting? Never an option. Even when doctors told him to rest, he didn't. 2 p.m. was still promoting, so he went on stage, performing through the pain, hiding the agony behind every sharp move and perfect smile. It took years before he could even get surgery. And just when life seemed to be testing him the hardest, fate threw him a lifeline. While recovering, he heard about an audition for a movie called Cold Eyes.
백업해.
카메라 설치 들어갑니다.
껍데기 투입.
Still swollen, still in bandages, Jun-ho showed up anyway. He walked into that audition room not as a pop idol, but as someone who had nothing left to lose and everything to prove. And he nailed it. Despite his condition, the director and producers were blown away by his energy, his precision, and that quiet fire he carried. That's how he landed his very first acting role, a surveillance officer nicknamed Squirrel, sharp-eyed and quick on his feet. It wasn't a big role, but it was enough to make people notice. Suddenly, calls started coming in. Casting directors, producers, everyone wanted to see more of him. Jun-ho was no longer just that 2 p.m. guy. And from that point on, Lee Jun-ho began his acting career. He started small, taking supporting roles, learning the ropes, and proving himself one project at a time. One of his early standout appearances was in the movie 20, where he starred alongside Kim Woo-bin and Kang Han-yul.
우리 집이 망했는데 왜 니들 지랄이야?
그냥 분위기 한번 잡아봤지, 빙신아.
It was a comedy about friendship, youth, and failure. And Jun-ho's natural timing and sincerity on screen surprised a lot of people who only knew him as the idol from 2 p.m. After that, he kept building his filmography bit by bit, showing that he wasn't chasing fame. He was chasing growth. And then came his breakout moment. In 2017, he joined the cast of Good Manager, acting opposite veteran actor Nam Gung-min. Here's where people really started to pay attention. Jun-ho played Seo-yul, a sharp and cold-hearted prosecutor turned executive, and he owned that role. His performance was so impressive that Nam Gung-min himself praised him, admitting that while he didn't have ill feelings towards singer-turned-actors, he was initially a bit skeptical. After seeing Jun-ho act so naturally and skillfully, he said he learned not to hold prejudice against people. And in a way, Jun-ho's performance was already starting to break down the barriers idol actors often face. From that point on, his momentum never stopped. That same year, he landed his first lead role in JTBC's romantic melodrama, Just Between Lovers. And if there's anything we've learned about Lee Jun-ho, it's that he doesn't do things halfway.
강두야.
사랑해. 사랑해.
For his role as Lee Kong-do, a former athlete whose life crumbled after a tragic accident, Jun-ho went all in. To embody that pain, Jun-ho lost 7 kilograms for the role. And to truly show the character's loneliness, he deliberately isolated himself on set. He'd stay quiet between takes, refraining from talking to others just so he could channel the emptiness and bitterness that Kang-do felt. And it shows. If you've watched Rain or Shine, you'll know exactly what I mean. That bitterness of surviving when others didn't, the quiet rage from being forgotten by the world, and that fragile, trembling hope that maybe, just maybe, he could find peace again. Jun-ho nailed that emotional balance perfectly, and when his character finally starts to open up and fall in love again, you can see the shift, that raw, scared tenderness of someone learning to live again after losing everything. And after Rain or Shine, Lee Jun-ho didn't slow down. He kept building, experimenting, and showing how versatile he could be. From Walk of Love, where he charmed everyone with his humor and chemistry, to Homme Fatale, a historical comedy where he played a Giseng's son, to Confession, where he portrayed a lawyer chasing justice after being framed, Jun-ho was proving one thing: he could take on anything and make it believable. But then came the role that would change everything. In 2021, Lee Jun-ho was cast as the male lead of The Red Sleeve.
널 내 곁에 두고 싶어. 궁녀가 아니라 여인으로서.
At first glance, it sounded like a classic sajuk, a historical romance about a crown prince and his court lady. But what Jun-ho didn't know at the time was that this role would rewrite not just his career, but also become one of the defining dramas of the decade. He played Yi-san, the crown prince who would later ascend the throne as King Jongjo, one of the most respected monarchs in Korean history. And his love story with Deokim, played by Lee Si-young, wasn't just romantic, it was heartbreaking, political, and painfully human. It wasn't an easy role. The Red Sleeve is based on real historical figures, and that meant Jun-ho had to portray a man torn between love, duty, and legacy. The Crown Prince's journey to the throne was anything but peaceful, filled with betrayal, loss, and sacrifice. He had to embody the weight of power, the loneliness of leadership, and the vulnerability of someone in love, all at once. And that's exactly what he did. Those who had already seen his past works knew he was good, but for many viewers, The Red Sleeve was their first introduction to Lee Jun-ho, the actor. And honestly, they were skeptical. Could an idol really pull off such a complex, demanding period role? Well, Lee Jun-ho did not need to answer because his performance did all the talking. The drama wasn't just a hit, it became a cultural phenomenon. Ratings soared, international fans fell in love, and suddenly everyone wanted to work with Lee Jun-ho. After the drama's success, it was reported that he received over 100 new script offers. That's how massive his breakthrough was. For the first time, people weren't saying idol actor Lee Jun-ho, they were saying actor Lee Jun-ho. And then came the moment that changed everything. The awards started pouring in, but none hit harder than the Baeksang Arts Awards in 2022.
예술대상 TV 부문 남자 최우수 연기상 옷소매 불꽃급동 이승훈님 축하드립니다.
When Lee Jun-ho's name was called for Best Actor, it wasn't just another win, it was history. The Baeksang is one of the highest honors an actor in Korea can receive. Even veteran actors who've spent decades chasing that trophy haven't held it. Yet there he was. The same Lee Jun-ho who once doubted his worth, who was told he wasn't handsome enough, who performed through torn shoulders and broken bones, now standing on that stage, clutching the trophy with tears in his eyes. And in that moment, it wasn't just about him. It felt like every idol actor who had ever been dismissed, mocked, or underestimated was standing there with him, finally seen. Because for years, the term idol-turned-actor came with an eye roll. Casting announcements sparked outrage. People assumed they were there for fame, not for skill. But Jun-ho's win shattered that prejudice. He didn't just prove he could act. He proved that the idol label wasn't a weakness. It was his foundation. The discipline from years on stage, the emotional precision from performing live, the grit from pushing through pain. He carried all of it into acting. And that's what set him apart. Lee Jun-ho didn't just change his own narrative. He changed the entire perception of what an idol actor could be. After The Red Sleeve, you could feel the shift. Before, when a rookie idol actor delivered a great performance, people would call it luck, a fluke, a one-time thing. But after Lee Jun-ho's Baeksang win, that mindset changed. Suddenly, people believed that idol actors could reach that same level of artistic excellence, that prestige, awards, and respect weren't out of reach. Because he didn't just succeed, he set a new standard for what success could look like. In many ways, his win wasn't just his. It was for everyone who'd ever been told they couldn't be more than one thing. And the best part? He's just getting started. After The Red Sleeve, Jun-ho completely switched gears with the romantic comedy King the Land alongside Im Yoon-ah.
나랑 같이 저녁 먹을래요?
싫은데요?
내가 왜 싫은데?
He said he wanted something lighter, fun, refreshing, easy for people to enjoy. And that choice paid off. The series became the most watched non-English show on Netflix during its run, even topping the global viewing charts in the second half of 2023. And now, in 2025, he's headlining Typhoon Company, a drama set during South Korea's 1997 financial crisis. He plays Kang Tae-pung, a carefree young man who unexpectedly inherits his late father's failing trading company and teams up with a sharp-witted accountant played by Kim Min-ha to save it. It's a story about rebuilding, resilience, and rediscovering purpose, themes that feel almost written for him. Because when you look at Lee Jun-ho's journey, it's more than just a comeback story. It's proof that sometimes the ones everyone doubts are the ones who end up redefining the game. Now I'm curious, which Lee Jun-ho drama do you think shows his best performance? Tell me in the comments. I'm reading them all. And honestly, Jun-ho's story could be a K-drama itself. But he's not alone. Click on this video next to discover more actors whose real lives could rival any drama script.